Good morning, everyone. It is 8:02. That means it's time for First Alert Weather Extra. I hope you had a good weekend, good holiday weekend. And as we start off the week, today is December 1st, meaning it is the first day of meteorological winter. And how fitting. We have plenty of winter weather to talk about, from precipitation to temperatures as well. Of course, the big story is what's going to happen with tomorrow's storm system. And as you know, we see a pattern early out, and then as we get closer, we try and find more confidence in the data. More of a, unified solution comes through, and then we put out a preliminary snowfall forecast. That was yesterday, and then new data comes in, and we're either keeping it, we're either upping the numbers, or we're backing down on those snowfall numbers, and we're backing down. That's the way the data has trended. So let's talk about what we're going to be talking about this morning. Be careful out there where you're walking, where you're traveling. There's been patchy areas of black ice. Once we finally rise above freezing and that breeze will continue, maybe we'll see a little melting, but even be careful in those shady spots. Might not see as much melting. So anything, dark and shiny on the ice, on the pavement or anywhere else you're walking, be careful. It could be icy. Otherwise, a bright and breezy day today. No issues. Tomorrow, First Alert Weather Day. We got everything on the table from a snow. When we say mix, that's like could get a little sleet or it's just a rain snow mix. It's transition line, really. And then it's rain for a lot of the southern part of our state. And even some of that creeping northward, too, throughout the day. Then Friday, a First Alert Weather Day for the coldest air in 9 months. That's March. My goodness. All right, so here we go. This is the system we're tracking. It is going to be moving in tomorrow. It is our next big thing. The highest snow totals are going to be focused across northwestern Connecticut. We're talking about northern Litchfield County, and then much lighter amounts elsewhere. So the system is just now getting going across the Midwest and eventually, obviously, making its way here. Let's fast forward, though, to tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. You can see precipitation breaking out inland in the form of snow, but closer to that warm front, it's that rain-snow mix line and then rain to the south of that front. So it's like, okay, where are you going to track front? Oh, no! Snow lovers are not liking this. So by 10 o'clock in the morning, the northern, northwestern half of the state, snow. The central and southern part of the state is rain or transitioning in that direction. 3 o'clock, almost all the state is seeing rain, and it's a heavy rain. It's a cold rain. It's lousy tomorrow. And then as we head into the latter part of the day, into the evening, as some cold air wraps around the system on the way out, maybe a brief flip to some snow, back to snow for far inland Connecticut. Otherwise, just rain as this thing tapers off. So in terms of the alerts and anything issued from the National Weather Service, we have a winter storm watch. That's far northwestern Connecticut. Either the Weather Service will decide based on the snowfall forecast if it warrants a warning or just a winter weather advisory. But things are just not looking more favorable for a lot of snow across our state with this system. Here's why. Let's take a closer look. We're looking at temperatures and we're looking at precipitation. For tomorrow morning, again, some inland snow, but it's already starting off on the wrong foot if you want snow, south of I-84. By the time we reach noon, it's at rain-snow line is up towards the I-84 corridor. So north of it, it's snow. South of it, it's a cold rain. 37, pouring rain in New London. Lousy. And then as we get into 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it gets even farther to the north, that warmer air, and that will flip a lot of that snow over to rain. So it might barely hold on to being all snow. The far extreme northern part of Litchfield and maybe northwestern Hartford County. That's it. And then there's that brief changeover as the precipitation starts to depart as that low tracks away from New England. So, yeah, looking lousy either way. If you got to travel, it's either a sloppy, heavy rain or it's slushiness as you go farther to the north. And here's a look at our forecast for the snowfall. It has changed in the past 24 hours as we expected. That's why we come up with a preliminary forecast and then a more finalized version. And even this might have to be dropped some. But I think if you're looking at this, focus more on the lower end, especially where you see the lighter blue and you see the whiter shaded area. Because honestly, the majority of the snow is pretty much going to fall in that darker blue shaded area where we have 3 to 5 inches. You get into the northern part, closer to the Mass border, you're going to be getting closer to that maybe 3-inch range. You get northwestern Hartford County, and especially into Litchfield, that's where the 3 to 5 is going to be possible. But farther south, it's going to be tough. Anything, especially south of I-84, to get much to accumulate. If it does, it's grassy and elevated surfaces. Hey, at least it's not on the roads. And then it flips over to all rain and then it melts anyways. So more on the timeline. We're expecting tomorrow morning through the evening for the precipitation to take over. Inland snow, mix or rain south. And then as we talk about the impacts, certainly travel. And then measurable snow for some. That would be especially farther to the north. Friday, whoo! It's going to be cold. Very cold for this time of year. The coldest since March. Here we go. A little blast from the Arctic. And Canadian air coming on down here. Lows in the teens. Could be close to that single-digit range. Highs 30s. Some places upper 20s. Yeah, coldest air since 9 months ago. Today's a cool feeling day, but we can handle this. Feeling in the low 30s. At least it's going to be bright. That's inland, and the feel along the shoreline load up maybe as high as the mid 30 degree range today. All right, tomorrow inland starts as snow, rain-snow mix, flips over to all rain, that ends as a rain-snow mix or briefly as snow. Wah, wah, wah. And then as we take a look at tomorrow along the shoreline, cold rain, temperatures getting into the low 40s. Yuck. All right, so how about the cold weather coming our way late week? Well, it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. So we'll have to watch each and every one of these systems. Storm track is so critical as to what kind of precipitation we end up seeing, what areas, for how long, that kind of thing. So blame the storm track. It just put that warmer air farther inland rather than keeping it a little bit farther to the south and temperatures being cold enough for a decent amount of snow. And then for the outlook for precipitation, okay, colder than average, above average precip. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Yes, we have another chance of precipitation for Saturday. Rain and snow is going to be possible. Obviously, we'll keep you updated as we go forward. Now, we haven't declared a first alert weather day, meaning the signal is not strong enough to go ahead and do that yet. But if something changes, we'll be sure to update you on that. But look at those temperatures. Below average, both at night and during the day. We have a couple first alert weather days for the wintry, sloppy mess tomorrow and the bitter cold for Friday, and then monitoring Saturday very closely for you. We'll keep you posted if that gets bumped up to the first alert weather day status. And there's a look at the shoreline highs. You're not that much better than inland folks. All right, so a lot to keep you updated on. We have another first alert weather extra coming up at 9:30 tonight. Of course, between now and then, you're going to get information very easily. WFSB.com, first alert weather app, social media pages, and of course, on the news, Channel 3 and the Wax. We're going to keep you updated. Any little change in the forecasts, we will obviously tweak what we need to tweak. That's the way it goes. Again, this system is just now forming across the Midwest. So now we'll get the data, starts to get a better sample of the system, initial conditions, that's put into the models, and then the models will adjust as needed with that information. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day.